are chords with 3 notes, right? How many types of triads are there? 4, exactly. There are 4 types of triads, and there are 3 types of sevenths. So there's a seventh. So for instance, if you're in C major, if you play the entire scale of C major, the 7th note of that scale will be the major 7. So let's say that we have a triad with major 7. This would be the major 7. So there are 2 ways of finding what the major 7 is. One of them is playing through the entire scale of that chord and finding the 7th note. The other way is to think about C, play an octave higher. If you go half a step lower, that's the major 7th. So half a step lower than the root. So let's say, for instance, that we have D major 7. Find for me a D triad first, and then try finding the major 7. So D triad, now adding the major 7, here's the octave of D, half step lower is C sharp. So that's a D major 7. And the symbol for that in the book is showing as an MAJ7, right? And out in the real world, it will show up as MAJ7, and sometimes it will show up as a triangle 7. So if you see the triangle 7, you're adding the major 7th. If you see just the number 7, like these guys on the next page, that is the lowered 7. And you see I'm calling it lowered, meaning like it's lower by a half a step. So for instance, here's C major 7, a C7, you take the major 7 and you bring it down by half a step. And then you have the C7. Does that make sense? Let's go ahead and try finding for me A flat 7. So first A flat. Now an A flat 7, here's the octave of A flat, right? Half a step down would be A flat major 7. A whole step down would be A flat 7. So this is A flat 7. Make sense? Try finding for me E major 7. So E major, now if I want to find the major 7, I can find the octave of E. Half a step down is major 7. So this is E major 7. But if I wanted just a E7, that 7th would be lowered by half a step. And there we have E7. Does that make sense? You guys with me? Okay. Now, check it out. On page 62 and 63, we have these examples here of a major triad with a major 7, and of a major triad with a flat 7, with a lowered 7. Let's try now adding 7ths to minor triads. So let's try to find a G minor. And here is where it gets tricky. It's more like, what do we call things, you know? If I say G minor 7, it means that the triad is minor and the 7 is lowered. for me to have a G minor with a major 7, that's exactly what I would say. I would say G minor, major 7. So G minor with a major 7. Weird sound. Like this, you know, the sound of like the evil person on the movie, or, you know, the evil plans. Oh, whoa, like that, maybe. So G minor with a major 7. Try finding for me A major 7. So if I say A major 7, I know that a triad is major, A, and major 7, here's the octave of A, down by whole step, here's A major 7. If I wanted an A7, the G would go down. Does that make sense? Any questions? No? Alrighty, so
that's a dominant 7, right? Is that what you're talking about?
on page 63, the lowered 7, it's dominant if the triad is major.
Okay.
But if the triad is minor, then it's not dominant.
So when it just says 7, is that just an abbreviation for dominant 7?
So not necessarily, because if it just shows up as a 7, so check it out. Is dominant if the triad is major and the 7 is lowered. But if the triad is minor and the 7th is lowered, that is not dominant chord anymore, right?
Yeah.
So dominant has to be a major triad with a lowered 7th.
Okay.
So, and here you see it's only showing up as a 7. It has no,
Yeah, but it's minor.
yeah, the minor triad, right, and the lowered 7. On page 65, on Thursday we're going to work on this song and check it out. We have here a D triad, D triangle 7 is the major 7, right? Then we have a F sharp minor with a lowered 7. So if you want to start having a look at this for Thursday, that would be helpful.